Okay. We go. Okay. There we go. Now time for another round of art. Oh. Right over here. I'm myself over somewhere else. Maybe even just to give a little bit more. Something like over here will work. I also have a better vantage point. Okay. Oh. Right now, I'm gonna do a little bit of work on Sporette. Or first, I'm gonna really make the thumbnail for the next L'Amour episode. I need Kyle. Did I ever get Mizutsume? I might have never gotten Mizutsume. There are stories that do. Mizutsume. Save that. Need the PNG. Thank you. There we go. Right, there's a PNG. Let's get a new standard with thumbnail. A little bit blurry, more blurry than I wanted it to be. That's fine. Really, the best one I could get. Make it a little bit smaller. I can paste the Bridge2 logo. Right over here. Shorten it down. Let's get. When I came to. Oh. Did I not save the. I I did save it as a PNG. Okay. Just a static PNG. Okay. Let's get some text. And I want, let's play into Kyle's little tsundere tendencies. I'll need Coach semi-bold. Go. Outside layer, a little bit lower. This I probably need to make it like only 6 or 5. 5 will work. Then logic. Copy and paste the layer style. Hold on, let's make it bigger first. There we go. With this, I could actually probably make the layer style a little bit bigger. And 11 might. Hold on. Let's go. Oh, I see. It's just kind of intersecting with the lines. That's fine. 9 should. Let's go 7. Get that. The nice middle ground of 8, it seems, is probably okay. Probably gonna be the best one. Duplicate and make it 3D. Then all that's left is a little bit of tiny little bit of a little bit paler. Nope. Bit more red. A little bit awkward looking. Is there a transparent render that I can just use for like? That might work. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Open it. Oh, it seemed. Oh, that definitely needs to be. Okay. This'll work. These stories. Do episode. I believe it's 9, right? Yeah. That'll work. Did I export it? Hold on. Did I export it? I might not have it. Need to export it as a JPEG. Yes. Okay. I'm glad I remembered to export it. That would have been pretty disastrous. Okay. Now it's your turn. So, the first and probably most important thing right now is reworking some of the worst line arts. Specifically, the chin. I feel like no matter what I did, it's never gonna quite yet be right. It needs to... Definitely needs to have a bit more. I want it to end at the same place, but that might be impossible to do without... And obviously it needs to be symmetrical. Without either making the chin absurdly large let's make this a bit more transparent. Let's get the grid back up. Not really without. Let's get them to exactly the same point. Yeah, they're not quite symmetrical. This goes just a little bit past there by like past this line, 2 pixels out and like 4 pixels up. This goes let's get rid of the hair for just a second. Goes essentially at this intersection, there's a square and then like an extra bit of outline. This should be like that. How many squares is this? 1, 2 versus 1, 2. Okay. It should be try to make this the obviously that should be the center point. Maybe a little bit lower than, like, somewhere along this line. Then use this one to make actual drawing. Okay. That still looks so lopsided. Okay, hang on. gonna do this in the most roundabout way possible, essentially. What I'm thinking. The hair back at least. I need to make it more. I don't know how to feel about that. For plenty of reasons, I don't really know how to feel about that. Maybe if I just go like that. Oh, maybe that's why it looks so lopsided, because the hair is actually kind of lopsided. Yeah, it actually is kind of lopsided. Alright, look at it. But I guess it's fine. It doesn't necessarily need to be perfectly symmetrical all the way. But it's like, man, if even the hair is kind of lopsided, that's a problem. Okay. But you know what? Maybe I could at least do... maybe give it a bit more of an ovular shape rather than a circular one. Okay, that should work for the most part. Next, well, I did see... I did see the eyes were kind of not symmetrical either. Or away are you? You are 1. Two, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so the second eyebrow should be like the face not necessarily being symmetrical is kind of messing with my perspective on it. Because now it looks like the eyes are more lopsided than they actually are. I redo the hair. I might want to redo the hair just a little bit. Do it like that. I will. Yeah, that looks. I'll do it with both just to see which one I like better. I think I'll go with this one to give it a bit. I'll go with this one. Let's do it like this. Hang on. I need to go more like. I need to go 2 in. then I can go like that. Let's make this a bit more connective. Let's make this more connective to the back. Let's shave off the hat depth for a little bit. I guess the hat depth goes behind. Goes behind the hair anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I can make this the detail outline rather than the actual hair outline. Then I might as well make the top of the hair just so that it looks just right. So that is 2 in 1, 2. That matches flush. Merge and finally merge. As funny as it might be to have, I mean, the hair detail out underneath the hat can stay, just so that looks a bit messy. That's fine, though. Okay. Do I want to make it a little bit smaller? I kinda do. Like that. And then we'll erase all of anything that sticks out into the head. Okay. I have maybe a little bit of this just because. Okay. I think the head looks better now. Now, I actually do want to adjust the chest just a bit. Which one is smaller? Why don't I? If a person wanting to read all about it, frame breaks are so awesome and that they will only set you back one kidney. The current Master Duel format will be saved when Yummy beats up Mitsurugi. Ruggles gave the entire Yu-Gi-Oh community a scare with this recent video, and MVD said Duel Link's most recent ban list killed all the FTKs. Good thing the new box added a new one. This just in. New FTKs are fun and interactive. How are you doing today? Of course, no one has ever said those words in their lifetime. Let's make this or that looks better. That looks a bit better. Abby, a little bit more. It's the right. I think it just. I guess it's just missing a little bit of this then. Make it a bit more flush. There we go. How you doing today, Chroma? Welcome in. Justin, new FTK Duel Links play all draw of power, 3 copies of Galaxy Wave, and a single Auto Roost will kill your opponent 7 out of 10 games. Truly, a fun and interactive format. Do I want to... Probably could file this down just a little bit. Fun and balanced gameplay indeed. Could I have circled it down a little bit, probably? No, okay. Pulled another 10 packs from the Content Code pack, pulling 3 URs and no Altart Ohimi. Unfortunate. I want to make it a little bit more circle. So I only dismantled Erebus. I pulled Tour Guide, Erebus, and a single copy of Uzuhime. So, you know, I only dismantled the Erebus. There. No one cares for the Monarch. 2 Uzuhime is preferred, and Tour Guide is Tour Guide. It's just kind of good. Especially if you ever want to play the Adventure Engine again, sure. Now that needs to be... I feel like I'm making it a bit too... Nah. I think this will just have to work. I still have that layer open, or do I still have that layer online? Where's the... Oh, there it is. Carry on, just in case I ever want to play VW again. That where, for instance, that VW is good in a event or something. Okay. Next is gonna need to be the knees. a second. Let's instead go more like. I'm sure I'll post a new Rose 1999 release. Any particular reason why? I don't know how the update will go this time. Oh. Interesting. Supposedly, barrel will be added. With this, I might actually be able to get started on the thing. But that supposed might be doing a little bit of heavy lifting, I take it. Actually speaking, I can probably a barrel, but it was in China as an anniversary character, but I don't know how that will go for the global release. The first and foremost issue. This is the closest color to. It'll be the same, but I can't exactly translate the entire Chinese update, unfortunately. It is hard to translate Chinese, yeah. That's true, especially if you're not a native speaker. Happy with the face thing. Oh, I believe, yeah, the final piece of art you made. Yeah, I saw it. It looks quite. I do. This is the final. Was that the final one? Or yeah, I do like the little attention to detail of making the bandages seem just a little bit more, like old. They added like beige. I believe the added beige color gives it a bit more sense of age than just the plain white. Actually, by this point, I could probably just go. Did you listen to it? Not really. I've mostly been doing. Well, I went to bed here, not really close after stream. Like soon after stream, I went to bed, and I woke up not even a little bit over an hour and a half ago. Imagine being a functioning member of society. I know, right? Clearly, that could not be me. Yeah, oh no, I did. I did already do that. I could never. Alright. There we go. I guess for this, I could use a smaller brush just to make sure it doesn't bleed as much into or outside of the art. Wait, hang on. I'm a dysfunctional member of society. Let's make sure all of it is filled in. Actually, need to make this a separate layer. Got skin eyebrows, not for long. We'll go. I still have this, right? Yeah, it's more of a dark green. I feel like this. It's this green, a bit more or less. Bert. There we go. 3 pixels in proper green color. I kind of see it, yeah. Hold on. There we go. But now I see. Yeah. And now I see there's a pixel there. The singular pixel that needs to be colored in again. Let's go. Yeah, and then that deleted a little bit more than I wanted it to. Not to already. Spore saved me. I cannot save you any more than you can save yourself, unfortunately. need the gems for Ohime. That much is true. However, there's only so much I can do. But is it worth the cost of ranking up? Is it? That is a question that you have to answer for yourself, unfortunately. You see, like, one pixel that still needs. But Ohime, what your sanity? Oh. I would kill the trade in the Alt Art Apo for an Alt Art Ohime. Well, you might be able to soon enough. It just depends on when the update that allows you to rolls out. I thought I got all of it. Apparently I didn't. Yeah, 6 years later. Which, I mean, allegedly it should be this month. Whether or not that's 6 weeks, 6 days, 6 years, who knows? But at the very least, it's allegedly gonna be this month. Okay. Did I? I did. I probably didn't. And I can add different shadow layers later on. Shadows, yeah, like little bits and pieces to make it have a bit more depth. Like, I'm gonna add maybe a little bit of shadow underneath the hat, shadows for underneath the hat brim, and shadows behind the hair. Not adding shadows. That's fair. Okay, I feel like need to learn that. For stuff like your pixel art, not necessarily. If you are ever gonna plan on making more complex stuff, you might want to. The thing is, for simpler, for more simple pieces, shadows aren't really necessary. They're just kind of a nice add-on. Although the face was too complex for pixel art. On a smaller canvas, yes. What is the size of canvas, actually, that you use? Because you, from what I can tell, you used a fairly sizable canvas. Like, I didn't think that with a larger canvas, it shouldn't be too bad. 850 by 930? Okay, yeah, that's a fairly sizable canvas. So you can afford to get a little bit more detail in. Should I let it bleed a little bit into, like, kind of frilly hair? Not really. I don't need to. Face and mascara are about 680, and the neck is another 60. Okay, so use, I'm assuming height-wise. Well, no, not necessarily. Height. It would be height. So yeah, you use most of the canvas for it. Right? And managed to get fairly detailed, all things considered. Which is probably the reason why I was touching the top, yeah. Then I'll add... Whoop. No, that's not what I wanted. Why did I do it like that? No, let's... Let's do it all uniform, and then add shadows later. There's something. There you are. back at 20 pulls in reverse 1999 though, so that's nice. Let's make it a bit more clear. Hey, broken Yu-Gi-Oh terms, not the worst in reverse 1999 terms, I suppose. Actually, make that 30. I forgot about the 10 monthly pulls I can buy. Nice. Or you need no real money needed to buy those pulls, which is nice. So there is this thing called Cracks of the Lost, which you get after pulling duplicate 4 and 3 and 2 stars. And you also get 150 every week if you complete all the weekly tasks. $600 of them can be exchanged for a 10 pull. That is, yeah, basically 1/4 every week, 4 weeks in a month. So you immediately get at least 1 10 pull every month. Which, I guess for free is not nothing, but like, you can get 10 pulls a month for free. But granted, they're not that many. They're not. So, I'm counting the extra drops you get from doing like dailies and weeklies. Yeah, that's fair. It's gonna be like, and dailies. I guess you only really get, like, without doing your dailies and stuff in a game like Magical, you only technically get like 5 a day just from watching replays or something of that nature. Like, yeah, you do need to factor in doing dailies and stuff. I can't sure. I guess, like, for essentially free, no work required, no dailies required, a 10 drop a month is honestly not the worst. Obviously, ideally, dailies would be counted, and it would probably be like... How much would that be if you do all your dailies, all your weeklies every week? For a month. Uh... Let's get rid of the hat brim for a second, just that... Ooh, okay. I did miss a few pixels underneath the hat brim. Every week, every day, 90 every day. 90 times 7 is 630 for dailies. Okay, so... Is that a 10 pull every day? Plus 100 for doing your weeklies. That is 730 weekly, 2920 every month. In terms of drops, 180 drops is one pull, so 16. 220 pulls every month. This way is 26.2 pulls every month. That's both lower and higher than I was expecting, based on the rest of the stats. Doesn't count the daily login, you get 2 times a month, which count 14 up to 14 if you don't miss a day. Get rid of the hair detail. Yeah, I should have gotten rid of the hair detail when doing the coloring, just so that I didn't miss any loose pixels. Bi-weekly Limbo and Landscape, which is another 1400. Need to erase the hair detail, not the hair outline. I think I can afford to get rid of some of the scrungly hair. And maybe add some back in later. I say bi-weekly, you get one of them every 15 days. So, more or less. Could that be more tri-weekly than bi-weekly? I guess. I guess technically it still counts as bi-weekly. Because 1 week of a month you get Limbo for 700, week 3 you get Landscape for 700. I guess it's not fully... Okay, so it's like... Oop. Drop my pen. How do you properly quantify that, actually? I want to go. This amount, 49 pulls in a month, is honestly, that's pretty good for what it's worth. Oh, I need to hide the legs, I'll hide the torso, or more accurately, condense them. It's not going to be seen, like, at all. So I guess I don't really need to do this as much as I am, but for the sake of consistency, I might as well. Okay. If you miss a 6-star on your first 50-50, even if you only pulled 20 times, the next 6-star in the batter will be the featured one. Okay, that's fairly generous. Technically, I can put the hat top underneath the hat rim. It is Genshin rates. Never mind then. Okay, so these places, how many pulls? Guaranteed 6-star, 50% for that one, 50 divided by all the other cards. Every 140 pulls is featured, guaranteed 6-star. This, nah. I guess, yeah, that's not as generous as I thought it would be. Well, at least with pull rates. Yeah, it could be worse, to be fair. It could be very much worse. Wait. Biggest advantage is just how many pulls per month you can get. That doesn't count all the available pulls through playing the monthly events as well. Any and every gacha game. Yeah. I love the purple wizard hat. I love the blue and white scarf. I think they are quite nice additions to the model. Kind of give a and the crystal. Of course, the crystal. Although that will come later. Eventually. If and when I decide to do, like, extra accessories or stuff. I might have a little homage to it in, like... Yeah, the crystal staff, exactly. I might have a little homage to it, eventually. But for now, it's mostly going to be... mostly just trying to get the straight model created. Then I can start fiddling with all the extra stuffs. I bled ink out of the lines a little bit too much. Which you based on Anu Anu Ashara. Oh, that's Anu Ashara, staff of the Eternal from World of Warcraft. It's like, oh, nice little homage to a game that I like wanted to play when I was younger, never got around to, and I'm slightly glad I never picked up. Pretty decent stuff in game, I can imagine. Is the staff more for mages, or is it like, are there even druids in World of Warcraft? I can imagine, since it's at least somewhat loosely based on the granddaddy of all RPGs, D&D. But even then, I don't know how okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's okay. Now it's time for the shadows. It focuses on crit and haste. The staff or druids. Honestly, I could buy either. I'm assuming the staff. Plus 5 critical strike. The staff, okay. Plus 0.01% at L80. Plus 5 haste. Plus 0.1 at L80. One part of it is the final line of text. The spells you have a chance to grant you a chance of potency. If you fall below 10% health or mana, unleash potency damage enemies and healing allies. Damaging enemies and healing allies within 40 yards, or 8 times 1 less versatility per charge. Not bad at all. Which is relatively good. It stacks up to 255, which is roughly 400,000 damage. This damage can crit and is AoE. Okay, even without the knowledge of World of Warcraft builds, that sounds absolutely insane. But I also know there's probably even better stuff than just that. Actually, double check. There is no upper cap on the damage. So, you know, it's even crazier. Or it could potentially be even crazier depending on how else you build. Right. Let's make sure I save. So, Balanced Druid can theoretically, heck, not even theoretically, can deal well over 800k damage just with that. It is once every 10 minutes, but just restack a PvP or boss fight, and you're absolutely golden. Bled a little bit, but that's fine. Is this fun? Maybe not. But, yes, very much so. Okay. Take your word that it is enough. Practical nuking a really strong boss or horde is very much fun. It doesn't insta-kill all bosses, but it's enough to damage them quite a bit for either you or the rest of the party to kind of sweep up the rest. Oh my gosh, so much awesome damage. Basically also fully heals anything around you, which is a fantastic bonus, especially in a boss situation, where maybe your healers are just out of mana. Right, even if your healers aren't out of mana, having a tactical nuke that also is a basic full restore is just insane. Let's reintroduce the bulbs for a second. Going just under 2 hours, okay. Probably. Starting to close. I can work from the top down. Okay. Oops. I forgot to make this a new layer. One. Okay, that's fine. I somehow need to... Oh no, I didn't put... I can potentially get rid of... Shoot. That's part of the shirts. May have made a mistake, unless I want to like, perfectly cut this out, make it a bit more in line with the neck. Looks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I roll up with an off-meta build for meta decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because constructed players are very finicky. As much as I love the more when it works style of deck building, it cannot really be denied that a lot of things are. Oop, I need black. That. Constructed typically has a specific way things are done, unfortunately. Okay. I'm just the best deck builder of my generation. I'm not so much. White Force Dogmatica is just that good. Why don't I do... It is one of a decent amount of duels, to be clear. Which I do not doubt for a second. Am I wrong? Actually, I do not doubt it. Wait. Oh no, that's the legs. I see it. I might actually just want to complete... Well... Sometimes Maximus is just that goated. Might want to just quickly complete the ants. I don't know what compelled me to make this choice by now. For what? Oh, just for Dogmatica, White Forest. I saw my opponent use a Mercurier, and I still went to activate Maximus effect. Which, I guess you know. Mercurier. If you have a courier, the Mercurier, the branded staple that it is. Why did I Maximus? We will never know. All I know that I need a different brush for this. Actually, this brush works fine. Should work fine. Oh, I need to close that off as well. That's right. Up. Maybe I'm just stupid. There we go. That's the good stuff. I don't want to do... probably want the pants to be slightly darker than the rest of things. The boots are obviously going to be more brown. Not really. Do I want it to be more like my... Maybe I do it more like my mushroom cap. That's really not really. I can't compare. I mean... You really can. Like, I don't... The pixelated Spore model, I don't think looks nearly as good as... it still looks fine. At least one more month of Maxi and Trash Blossom. Yep. Pixel Spore. No, my Pixel Spore is, I don't think it's better than the one you made. If anything, it's probably a little bit worse. I know you're talking about your Pixel Spore. I'm talking about mine. Because I know mine is not that great. Let's go ahead and get this boot up. This is definitely going to be the foot. Color of the foot. But I know mine isn't great. Sure, because you're kind of... The point I'm trying to make is that I don't think you're as bad of an artist as you think you are. I know that's rich coming from me. That I also just do not accept the title of artist, and probably never will. But you kind of see where I'm coming from, right? You're better. I'm not better. I think this probably needs stalemate. Alright, now how do I want to do... Oh, actually, hang on. Why don't I do, like that? The sash color. Maybe a little bit brighter. A bit more towards... Maybe a bit more towards that, yeah. Does that really fit, though? Not quite. I might actually want to make it a little bit darker. Face. Not quite the brown of the shoes, but maybe something a little bit more like this. Color do I want to add? I'm still a lover of Yu-Gi-Oh, I suppose. It's another. Wait, I don't know, but the music of Rise, for all the controversy, quote unquote, that Rise has, I feel like music is definitely not one of them, because they made some fantastic music for Rise, as well as Wilds. I'm the strongest soldier opponent. I played in the Max Z and just won. Nice. Your Maxi does not scare me. The only thing that can scare me is... This reminds me, tax season's coming up. Okay. How do I want to continue from here? What did... board. The board, Arthalion, Lucius on field, Flame set, Lamina, and Mulu in hand. I mean, yeah. It only gave me one draw. That's the thing. I realize I now need to add probably just one to the shirt. Now, don't I? It only gave one draw. You know, the ultimate in drawing technology. Maxi can very much lose to still very much lose a Lucius or Thalion pass with Flame, Lulu, Vivina in hand. Maxi isn't the best into Draco Tail sometimes. No. Like, you can argue that's kind of part of its strong suit. It's just the fact that it doesn't really care that much about Maxi makes it a very powerful deck, especially in this type of format. And also peak-hand. Ouch. Hold on, let's back all the way up. Horn, Pen, Urgula, Ashen evenly. Really, this hand will win the duel. Depending on who you're going against, honestly. Going first, never mind. I guess, like, Horn. Like, actually, what do you do in this situation? Just, like, set Horn pass. Activate Lightning Storm and normal summon, right? Yeah, that's the GG. That's unfortunately quite the GG. Fair. Not many people want to sit through Ray combo. Throw some meal back. My best draw won't save me from that. No. The most you can really do is hope that... I mean, no, there is nothing you can really do other than Ash their Camellia. Or Ash their Engage. Or Ash their... they had Engage, Linkage in hand. No. Yeah. That's, not happening. Okay, what color do I want to make this, the tails? I lose 100% of this current scenario. Yeah. There's no point in making you sit all the way through that. God, 5 games in a row, I open evenly. And how much... Fortunate thing is, how much will it really do? And depending on what you're going again. I think legitimately, as you said, This might be good. Wait, this is against branded Draco Tail. That might do something then. Oh yeah, hold. We also opened Super Poly and Nib. Which, you know, Super Poly works into branded pretty well, I'd say. Draco Tail players, Wine Flame no work. Flame cares not. Draco Tail Flame cares not. Oh, no, it's the opposite. Evenly matched cares not for Draco Tail Flame. Now let's keep it to these two tails, actually. Let's actually have this be a little bit... Have this be a little bit different. I might even want to move this sash and sash coloring upwards above the shirts. Well, this evenly is going to go hard. I don't really know how they specifically get to out this. Like, yeah, what else do they set? I imagine they potentially set either... They obviously have Flame. Do they have Horn, or do they have Sting as their choice of other trap? Not using Nib. I'll use the discard for Super Poly. Fair. I mean, this deck doesn't really stop them, no. But it does absolutely harm more branded focused Draco Tail variants. I mean, it doesn't... I guess the more important one is the Evenly or the Super Poly. Nib doesn't really do enough into Draco Tail. This could actually be the... This can be the... the front of the robe. I guess technically this should be behind Robe Tail 1. Set Sting, Set Horn, Gulmel, Sanctifier, and Arthalion with Pamina in hand and an unknown set. Potentially Flame, but it could also be Imperm. Through a second Super Poly. Won't do a lot, but it has a chance to do something. Oh, it will, trust me. What's the first line of text on Sanctifier again? Lumel Sanctifier Battalion. Hey, you. I guess ideally the main. Can't use Sanctifier, but I'm fine. Yeah. I will trust your judgment on that then. I guess, like, even if you don't. Fusion summon the Gulamel and the Arthalion into Secretarion. Floodgate your opponent from using their special summoned dragon and spellcaster effects. Does do something in the mirror match. What's the other card in hand was? It changed Sanctifier to evenly. Well, I guess that means they keep 2 cards as opposed to 1. Hello, Anime Edits 689. How are you doing today? And changed to a bit of a thicker brush to clean up some of the spare pixels. It's kind of mid. It doesn't do enough, I'd say. Also, they gave you Pyruxal, which I guess they get to activate the Pyruxal if you send it to grave for fusion material, but you might not send it to grave for fusion material is kind of the thing. Very quickly, I'm gonna add the robe to the robe color to palette. Then I'll move the sash and sash color above the shirt. That seals go burr. Shirt 1. I'm gonna try to get, at the very least, the shirt done. Yeah, can't seals because of the fact that Pyruxal is a spellcaster, not a dragon. Okay. I think one last new layer. If I rush, I might be able to get this done. Shirt color. A lot, but that's fine. I can edit it later. Then eventually I'll do each of the sleeves as one. I'll need to edit some of that bleeding. Okay, I'm gonna... Another layer for sleep. Another one for the first sleeve color. I don't put it underneath the I should probably put it underneath the shirt, if anything. Even the shirt color. Makes Mysterion. That can also work. Hey, non-targeting banish. That's something. What do they keep on Revolution of Sanctifier? We're playing Mysterion for Secretarion. I think I've said it before, but I'd go either way. Like, Secretarion is great specifically into something like Tenpai, where buying yourself an extra turn does absolutely matter. But I also understand people who prefer Mysterion for the non-targeting banish. Wow, that bled out a bit more than I wanted it to. I do this because I just misplayed. Oh? How so? I actually set Rahu instead of Flame. And I imagine, by saying that, you've already used the Rahu for the Super Poly on their turn. But you know what? Mistakes will happen. Sometimes you click the wrong card. Just a misplay. It might come up still, but it shouldn't be too bad at the very least. Okay. I kind of overstayed again. That's fine though. I can. GG. Unlucky. Sometimes one misplay can cost you the game, sometimes it doesn't. It's all about whether or not you can recover from it. I think that needs to be enough from me. I do need to get going. Misplayed against Ash Feet Picks cost me the game. Unfortunate misplay and unfortunate name to lose to. Go ahead and that will have to be enough from me for today. So I need to get going pretty soon. So, Didn't mean for that to be that loud.
Oh.
So, tomorrow, probably be later in the day. I will get back into Stories 2 a little bit, and maybe a little bit of Master Duel. Depends on how that goes. But that will be it from me for today. Friday, I've got a day shift. I might stream at night at that time. Otherwise, probably the next and last stream of this week will be Thursday. And then maybe Sunday if I get up early. Who knows? Either way, I'm out of time. I need to get going. Thank you everyone who dropped by. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Take care.